Hour. Robin Lewis from the Care House joins us this morning on this Thursday edition of Daybreak. And Robin, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it?
It is a hot one, but it's good.
Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Care House located in Sylacauga. It's a conglomeration of ministry of churches. How did all this get started, Robin, the Care House?
Well, back in 1985, the Wesley Chapel pastor, Rutledge Landers was his name, along with some people from the Presbyterian Church, started this, and it was actually in a white frame house next to the Presbyterian Church to begin with. Then it was moved over into the Craddock House in the early 90s.
Now, a lot of churches are involved in supporting the Care House.
Correct. There's 20 plus churches right now we have involved.
Yeah. Coach Earl Lewis, this is his baby, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. He's been there for, goodness, I don't know, over 20 years, 24 years. And I've been helping him for about 21.
Now, what is the purpose of the Care House?
Mostly what the Care House does is we provide food for people in the community who need some extra food. We do have clothes. Right now our clothing rooms have been closed since COVID. Mm-hmm. We're hoping to reopen those pretty soon, so we're getting to where we're actually needing a little more help from our churches.
All of us have noted the high price of food and families with facing shortages of food, which would maybe more now than ever before. How do you guys go about providing food for the community?
Most of our food comes from local businesses, individuals, and mainly from our churches who have pretty well provided us with ongoing food drives for all these years. Now, lately, the Care House has been buying some more of its food and having to buy a little bit of extra, and we're trying to give a little bit more food now than we used to help
Are you seeing more of an influx of people needing food?
Now we are.
Yeah.
During COVID and up until about maybe 6 or 8 months ago, we were very slow, but now things have started really picking back up again.
And it takes a lot of volunteers to operate this too.
Right now we have 3 regular volunteers. Dorothy Cook has been there for about 13 years, and she's very loyal to the Care House. We also have a couple of others, Cheryl and Philip Partridge, who have been coming for, I think, 3 years, helping regularly. We have some high school students who are doing their community service hours. And then we have, my dad is the director, and then myself and Alice Pitchford Collins. We are like the administrative assistants. We're part-time, both of us.
So what kind of food do you provide?
At this time, we are able to give out some chicken, some frozen chicken. We've even had some people to...
That's a gold mine, frozen chicken now.
Yes. Now that's something the Care House has been purchasing, and we've been buying potatoes, so we're giving out bags of potatoes, a lot of canned food. We try to put peanut butter and jelly and macaroni and cheese in every food order that goes out, and we've also been buying cereal. Put in.
Mac and cheese and peanut butter and jelly, that'll stick to your ribs, and that's a food that can fill your stomach up. Who is coming to the Care House? What age group of people, and talk about that a little bit.
That just varies. We have people who have been coming to the Care House all of their lives. Mm-hmm. We just have all ages. We have elderly people, we have middle-aged people, we have young families with children. We have some of every age group.
I guess it almost becomes like they're a part of y'all's family.
A lot of them are, because like I said, they have been coming all their lives. Some of them even have come with their parents, and now they're grown and they're coming to get help too. So,
Robin Lewis of the Care House, our guest this morning, and we're tweaking the guidelines a little bit as we do from time to time in any business or ministry. Mm-hmm. Talk about some of the changes that are ongoing.
Most of these procedures that we have that are fixing to be put into place next week were procedures we did before COVID, and then we backed off on all of that during COVID. But now, beginning next week, we ask our clients to provide us with a current power bill showing their current address, a photo ID for the head of household, and we also need proof of income for all household members, and that includes food stamps. And then we also would like to have names and birth dates of everyone in the home.
So Robin, how strenuous is this going to be?
Probably for a few weeks, we're going to be a little lenient with that. In the past, we've used the USDA guidelines for the income limits on what, we have to consider a below poverty income that we can provide food for. We're not going to be that strict with that right now, but we probably will use their guidelines just so we'll have a guideline to go by. But we will be very lenient, and of course there are always emergency situations that we are glad to help in. Mostly what we do is help people who are in Sylacauga, but we do occasionally, if there is a real need, we'll help somebody out of Sylacauga. The reason we do that is because our donations come from Sylacauga, so we don't, we try not to go outside of that too much.
Do you see transients come through and are needing food from time to time?
Yes, occasionally there are transients that come through. Sometimes they'll even ask for a bus ticket or gas or a motel room, which we don't do a lot of that, but in some cases we will help in those. But we'll always give food, and if they are homeless, we will give food that has Pop-Tarts that they can just open, peanut butter and jelly and bread, things that they don't have to cook, that they can keep, that will be okay if they're staying in a car or a tent. We try to help those too. And
the life's blood of this ministry is our churches.
Absolutely. We really depend on the churches here in Sylacauga for volunteers, which we're starting to get back to where we need our church volunteers. We've been without them since COVID started. We had churches on a rotating schedule yearly where each church helped maybe 1 week or 2 weeks out of the year, and we haven't done that, but we're back to where we're starting to need that. So I sent out letters and to the churches, and also we have a Facebook page, which is a great way to keep up with what's happening. It's just Care House of Sylacauga. So you can check that Facebook page for updates and things that, might be helpful to you in the community to know about as well.
Are there particular days that you serve the community?
Right now, we're open Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday mornings from 9:30 until noon. We may go back to our 4 mornings, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but right now we're still staying at 3.
So this morning
we'll be there.
Somebody that's hungry can come to the Care House?
Yes.
And they're not going to go away empty-handed?
No. They're not. We're going to send them some food. A couple of bags usually is what we're giving. And we've also had a lady that's been bringing in fresh eggs. It's been wonderful.
Oh, wow.
So we've been able to give out fresh eggs too.
Yeah.
So that's been great.
The price of eggs is skyrocketed,
going up.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Robin Lewis, our guest this morning from Sylacauga Care House. And for people who don't know exactly where this is, share with them.
We are, let me see, I've got 103 South Broadway is actually our street address. We are 1 block down from the post office on Broadway.
And they'll be there this morning beginning at 9:30 for people, maybe you're watching this morning and you need food, or maybe your neighbor needs food, or a family member needs food. What do they need to bring with them today?
Today, all we ask is that you bring a photo ID. And we only give 1 food order per household. So you have to be living in separate homes. If 2 people come together, we want you living in separate homes.
Yeah. And I know with the heat being kind of oppressive, now they're outside, are they not, until time for their name to be called? Is that correct?
Right now we are handling everything on the front porch.
Okay.
You come to the porch, up the steps, we get your name and ID, we write that down, and we give you your food.
Yeah. So. Before we go this morning, tell me a story to put a smile on my face of a success story, without naming names, of course, with the Care House.
Well, we have people from time to time who will call us needing clothes for an interview, a job interview, which we don't usually know the outcome of that, but we hope when they come in asking for that help that we know they're out trying to get help for themselves as well. And we pretty well count that as a success story. Now,
you talk about clothing. That's something that you do secondary to the food giveaway, but are you accepting clothing now or not accepting clothing?
We are not, unless if we speak with somebody personally and they have men's clothes. We are accepting some men's clothes.
And
right
we don't
now.
want junk clothing,
We need them to be good. We need them to be clean and folded up, preferably. Is great. But yes, men's clothing right now, and hopefully when we go back to having our church volunteers with us every week, we possibly will open the clothing rooms back up so people can go up and find clothes that they need.
With COVID hopefully in the rearview mirror now, but go back 2 years and talk about how COVID affected the ministry at the Care House.
Well, it was very surprising to us that we stayed closed down for a little while when COVID started, like everybody else did. Then when we reopened, we were expecting Care House to be inundated with people needing help, but we were not. It was very shocking that people were not coming and taking advantage of it. And slowly over this past couple of years, things have started picking back up again, and that's why we're in need of some church volunteers again, because we are seeing up 10, 12 clients a day at this time.
Yeah.
Where for a while, we might not see anybody for a couple of days.
And there were checks that people were receiving then that helped them out some, and then the fear of being out in public too was effective.
Now, we had some really strict guidelines about keeping the social distances in the lines coming in, and we had all kinds of things in place, but we just didn't have the clients coming in.
Yeah.
So we are now, and that's a good thing, and we've got food to give out.
All right, so again, this morning at 9:30, people can come and get some food, and what's some of the items they'll get today?
They will get frozen hot dogs. We're out of chicken until probably the first of the week, but they'll get hot dogs, they'll get some bread, they'll get peanut butter jelly, macaroni and cheese, they'll get some canned fruit, some canned vegetables. I think we have some eggs right now, so they will get eggs. Let's see. That's mainly, we do a lot of canned foods. And I know that doesn't really sound that appealing, but if you're hungry enough, I think a can of peas or beans would probably be good. So.
Yeah. Now, do you have a refrigeration system there that you can store your food in?
We do. We have several refrigerators, and we have 3 upright freezers that we can store food in. So, if you have something you'd like to donate, we'd be glad to have it. We can freeze it, or if it's non-perishable, we can put it on our shelves and give it out.
What keeps y'all going?
Knowing that there's a need for this in this community, and being able to help people who need that food.
I've said this for years. A person should never be hungry. We've got services that are available, including the Care House here in Sylacauga. So if you're hungry today, you know someone who is, they need food, you need food. The Care House and Robin is going to go over again. The guidelines are going to begin taking place next month.
Yes. We've got it in place to start next week, but we're giving some couple of weeks leeway on that. So starting next week, try to remember this, to bring your power bill with your current address, a photo ID for the head of household, proof of all income for everyone in the home, and that includes food stamps. And then we'd like to have names and birth dates of all the household members as well.
And one of the main things you need to bring with you is patience.
Yes. If we're crowded, you definitely need to have some patience.
All right. Robin, thanks so much for coming today.
Thank you for having us.
Robin Lewis with Care House in Sylacauga. Coach Earl Lewis, hope you're watching this morning. You think he's up this time?
I doubt it. He'll watch it on the
replay
internet later on.
Robin Lewis with Care House in Sylacauga. I guess there's more Daybreak coming up right after this.